They did, yeah. And I think for us, Lallybroch, the Castle Mid-Hope has been a huge part of I guess our journey on Outlander. It's where we started the first seasons, and also I guess for Jamie as well, and Claire. It's his ancestral home. We've had many moments, particularly in the Laird's chamber, and going back there, even for Jamie and Claire. They talk about it. How it's the first time he said "I love you," or the first time that they spent time together, and then also the characters as well. To see Jenny again, to see old Ian is bittersweet. Obviously Ian is dying, and that's a hugely upsetting for Jamie. But also, Leary comes back, and Jamie's definitely putting to rest a lot of ghosts, a lot of his past relationships, and yeah, I think for us as actors, it's always fun to go back to that location. It's a very special place.
Yeah, and obviously we had Kristen Atherton who came in to stand in for, or to step into the shoes of Jenny. And she did an amazing job. And it was really, I think for Claire and Jenny, they had this real kind of how they finally were honest with each other and shared information that kind of put to rest any kind of suspicions or underlying distance that they had between each other. And really tough scenes, but beautifully played by Kristen as well.
It's I mean, they had some great scenes with Steve Cree, and I think again, bittersweet. There's a really lovely humor to them, which I think Steve played really well. But it is sad, and I think I think Jamie's always longed to be back in Scotland, always longed to be back home. But they've built this new life in America now, and that's where his heart lies. But yeah, I mean, there's always that draw, that pull towards Scotland, and I think the fans themselves as well. They really love when we're back there, and I think they're going to really enjoy these scenes. Just seeing some of their favorite characters, and obviously the relationship with Leary is also pretty explosive. But again, I think had Claire perhaps not been in part of this story, they would have ended up in a completely different situation. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see, them look back on their lives and
hold on a minute.
it's like, he probably would have ended up in this, unhappy marriage, or he was in it, and it's just interesting as they get older, these characters to like look back on what could have been.
Yeah.
I think it's just surprising, things are the same in terms of, the building, his home, his lodgings, but, to see Ian and see what, see the state that he's in, but also, how the kids have all grown up, the extended family, when he sees Joni as well, it is a very bittersweet episode, or a couple of episodes, but I think Jamie, his family is Claire, and I think America is now where he belongs. And he has unfinished business there, as we find out in later seasons as well. History as well moves on, and Jamie's always been tied up in the happenings in America.
Yeah, I mean, it's always, I think to return to special sets and to sort of have those memories of the previous scenes is always special, and it really informs how you play the scenes that you're being given at this point. Yeah, it's sweet and it's romantic.
Yeah, I remember as well, even downstairs, when Steve and I were doing scenes together, but we were remembering, way back in season 1, acting scenes there with Metin, actually.
Yeah.
We worked with a lot with one of the directors, but yeah, just there's so many memories, and I think that's what's the joy of playing on a show from perhaps this long, is that you have these memories tied up in shooting, and that also informs some of the character and situations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was our final time in Lallybroch. So yeah.
Or was it?
Or was it? Or was it?
Or was it? No, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely throughout the whole of shooting that we knew, did you know? We knew
We didn't actually know at that point.
we knew it could be the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're obviously very lucky that we could come back and finish it in season 2.
Well, I think anytime you have a secret, it stops you connecting fully with people. And I think there was always that thing that stopped Jenny and Claire, and even Claire and Ian, really understanding each other on a deeper level. You know, there was always this sort of suspicion about her, or like who she really is, and to be able to be honest and tell the truth, I think it's a very tough thing for them to understand. And, you know, from Jenny's point of view, I think there's a little bit of hurt that she wasn't trusted with this information before. But I think after that, it sort of allows them to sort of really know each other on a deeper level, which I think is always good.
No, I think Jamie's very lucky that he's saved by the door. The door goes and he goes outside to see Joni, so he's not really having to be part of it. But I mean, how do you tell people? I think
it's also, even as an actor, it's a very funny thing to say. It's like, I'm from the future. You know, it's always. But yeah, I think it's very hard because, you know, I think for Claire, she understands that for a lot of people, you know, that time, this time, anytime, to tell them something like that, you know, are you creating more problems for yourself? Are they going to understand it? Is there going to be more suspicion? Is there going to be some kind of, you know, obviously there can be a lot of reaction that's based in fear, and like, what does that mean? And what is the kind of consequence of that? But, you know, I think all in all, they took it pretty well.
I think they did pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, despite Leary's, shall we say, well, it's her pain, right? She's hurt and been hurt by Jamie, and I think Jamie's intelligent enough to realize that. It is obviously very explosive, and there's that moment where he gets embroiled in a sort of physical conflict with her new man. But yeah, but I think ultimately Jamie has got great affection for Joni, but also, yeah, he feels like he should do right by Leary as well. So probably is not going to go around for dinner anytime soon. Yeah, it was so nice to see Ian in all his tartan, and for them to say goodbye. And I think, you know, obviously Ian knows that that's it. He's not going to see his father again. Though Claire tells him that he may last longer. You never know. But I think that's definitely her bedside manner coming there. But yeah, it's very emotional, isn't it? And I think them saying goodbye, obviously, we're saying goodbye not only to the characters but to the actors as well, and that's always sad. However, there is time travel.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, nothing ever good happens when the Frasers are separated.
No,
so
he's quite codependent, certainly. But no, I think you're right. I think, you know, Jamie decides to stay and Claire goes, and I think this is the real catalyst and for the main, I guess, drama between Jamie and Claire this season. Well, a lot happens in Jamie's absence, and who knows how he will take it when he returns.